before we all start talking about Riley Gaines, let's say something nice about her, okay? Something nice. Riley Gaines is probably better at swimming than I am. I have to give her that. Now, I'll tell you this. She's definitely worse at swimming than at least 4 other people. Rest in peace to Riley Gaines, who recently died.
Yep.
That's Riley Gaines right there on your screen. You can see her.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Indeed. Perhaps the most advanced form of Mar-a-Lago face we've ever seen. Now, before we all start talking about Riley Gaines, let's say something nice about her, okay? Something nice. Riley Gaines is probably better at swimming than I am. I have to give her that. Now, I'll tell you this. She's definitely worse at swimming than at least 4 other people. At least 4. She famously was a swimmer for some college, Penn State, DeVry, Trump University. I'm not sure exactly, but she was a swimmer for some college bullshit, and she trained a lot to swim, and she probably was better than most people at swimming, but she did one race, and a trans woman named Leah Thomas was also in the race, and Leah Thomas kind of beat her. They tied for 5th place. Now, I've lectured before back and forth on this whole thing. Quote unquote, should trans women be allowed to play in sports? And the answer is that no one should be allowed to play in sports. There shouldn't be sports. If you want to do sports, you're forced to learn how chess works instead. Okay? No, people have their arguments, and I'm sympathetic to some of them in terms of, you know, trans women probably shouldn't participate. But when we ever say it's like probably shouldn't, it's like, well, I mean, what do you mean? Like, who enforces this? If I had a, you know, fitness club, well, if I had a fitness club, only trans women, okay? Because again, I'm conservative. So if you don't got a dick in them panties, you're not allowed to use the elliptical, okay? You know, there are arguments are made, and I generally am like, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't know who gives a It's not a terribly, you know, activating thing for me. And I certainly don't think that there should, it's okay, Dougie Jones, welcome. I certainly don't think that, you know, any sort of government body should be involved in organizing any of this. Let people do what they want. It's worth noting that, like, Leah Thomas didn't win. She didn't even come in 4th. She tied for 5th with Riley Gaines. So afterwards, Riley Gaines decided to, she briefly became a big flashpoint. And this is a thing that happens to people sometimes. You remember, who was that guy who wrote that Google manifesto years ago? People know what I'm talking about? He, I think, was a graduate of University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, which is where my parents were professors when I was growing up. And he wrote this, like, manifesto, and it was something along the lines of, like, I think I'm probably being really uncharitable. I don't remember reading it. I don't give a but it was something like, I think women might not be as good at coding, and so they shouldn't do it. And all of a sudden he was, you know, brought along the right-wing grift up until, like, you can kind of see the moment. It was kind of the interview with Dave Rubin, who we might talk about later if we have time. It was kind of in that moment where he was faced with, like, oh, you can have a career in this right-wing grift. Brett Weinstein, and this guy, by the way, whatever his name was, he dropped off the face of the earth. He didn't take it. Brett Weinstein, you remember him. Well, you say super victim, but I give the guy credit because he did, like, not follow this grift all the way through. Brett Weinstein, if you remember, he was a professor at Evergreen University, and they would do something every year, which was like a day where the black students wouldn't come to campus to sort of show, like, this is what black people contribute to your life. You notice when they're not there, right? That's the basic idea of it, which I think is fine. Then one year they were like, we actually don't want white people to come. I get it. I think it's probably not a very good idea to do that. I think it's imposing on other people and just kind of sends the wrong message. And, you know, it's whatever. But Brett Weinstein, at the time at least, politely sort of said, no, I don't want to be involved. I want to show up. Now, The version of this that's been spread by media, and I don't particularly trust it, but it's possible it's true, is that a bunch of students kind of lost their screamed at him and protested him and screamed at the professor and stuff like that. I don't know. It might be more or less a fiction of right-wing media, or it might be possible that some students at Evergreen University acted in ways that I don't agree with, acted in ways I think are silly and non-productive. That's entirely possible. But consequently, Brett Weinstein became the flavor du jour, which is French for of the day, for all of these, right-wing griftosphere things. And he managed to turn that into a career, talking into microphones like this, saying that actually it turns out it's possible. It's possible, it's possible that due to the influence of the COVID vaccine, that actually you don't have a penis anymore. Actually, your penis has gone up your own butt, and that is how this all works now. So there's career path in these things, and I'm hoping I can get it. Remember last year, I think it was, where a lady called a 6-year-old black girl the N-word and then got $500,000. And I've been doing it for free like a sucker. Okay. Just kidding. Riley Gaines is one of those people. So after, she did Joe Rogan, she did all this. She's young and listen, just because you can do something and because you legally should be able to do it doesn't mean it's what you should do. That's true. Plenty of people should shut the up, including Riley Gaines. Now, listen, we might look at Riley Gaines and say that she has what some doctors call fat head disorder, where instead of the fat going to your titties, it mostly goes to the jowl area. You might say that. But what you have to understand is that for conservative women, she's in the top 10 most. I haven't checked, but I'd imagine that her Twitter replies are just guys with, anime avatars going, I will die for you, Riley. I will die for you. I will do anything for you. I love you. I will storm the Capitol again. Just, being a mildly attractive 25-year-old, and she's blonde and she does the makeup and, it's a Mar-a-Lago face. Oh, she's more than a quarter of the way. If Mar-a-Lago face is at 100, she's at 125%. But she has a podcast and she's just riding the griftosphere. And part of that is doing commercials for really cool products, such as Patriot Mobile, which is a cell phone company that says it's, quote, dedicated to Christian values. Now, we're going to watch Riley Gaines do a commercial for Patriot Mobile. Now, some might call this the blooper reel, and it accidentally got leaked. So already you can tell, just born entertainer. Natural on camera, comfortable. Look at that face. She definitely doesn't feel like she wants to, remove her skin like Scarlett Johansson at the end of Under the Skin. Turns out what was under the skin is a weird red alien. Spoiler alert.
Okay. I've heard you introduce Glenn introduced you a couple times, and every time I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to get your personal testimony of you being on Patriot Mobile on camera.
Yeah, so, she definitely is injecting something into her face. I don't know exactly what, but imagine it's raw milk.
Just kind of from the beginning. So
okay, first, that's what I needed to figure out really quick is when I first. Definitely over a year though. I would say, can I just say that around 2 years ago? Okay. Okay. Okay, ready? Hello, my name is Riley Gaines, and I am a very proud Patriot Mobile user. I have been sorry, one more time. I'm just going to restart that. I don't know if you guys...
So she to begin with. Really unpleasant smile, okay? What we're seeing here already, and I think this is maybe why this is going viral and taking off, what we're seeing here is just how inauthentic she is to her core. You got to remember, a lot of people see this and go, nah, she's cool and I like it. I like it.
Plan on cutting, chopping, cutting. Okay.
Yeah, it needs to be a little.
It's a little too high.
Oh, nice. So it picks up well.
Picks up a lot. Yeah.
That's not how you should hold the microphone,
Cool.
right? Does it sound better down here? Is this actually better if it's down here?
Wait, tell me the pillars again. So it's
Okay,
pro-life.
First Amendment, Second life, and veteran.
Okay.
And
First, second. Yep. Cool. Hello, my name is Riley Gaines, and I'm a very, very proud Patriot Mobile user, and I have been for about 2 years now. Let me think about how I kind of want to go into this really quickly. I probably should have thought before. Let's see.
you could also say, like, I've been on Patriot Mobile leadership for 2 years, and they're
Okay, yeah, that's good.
character.
One thing you notice about Riley Gaines, and this is kind of a thing with a lot of women with what, again, doctors are now calling a chronic case of fat head syndrome, is that her head gets wider. It expands. It does look like Drewski doing The thing is, her head expands, but her face stays the same. And it's an important thing to note that it's okay to body shame women as long as they are conservative, or alternatively under any other condition. There's a good point Hobo with a Shotgun makes. Does one not just write copy? This is what's amazing about the right-wing grift, is how little work they put into it. They couldn't get a teleprompter? Don't you guys have billionaires funding your You couldn't spend 20 minutes memorizing some copy, Riley Gaines? It's amazing how lazy these people are. They know they don't have to. That's true. That's this is exactly the point, which is I look at this and I'm like, similar when I watch PBD and he's always like, Tom, no, pull that up. That's the wrong thing. No, Tom, give me this. Go further down. Where's the thing, Tom? And I'm like, you guys could have figured all of this out before you went live. But guess what? They won. They're winning. They won. So they don't have to. I'm actually stupid for thinking they should have done that.
Talk about like the pillars or my money going to the cause. I mean,
Yeah.
wherever you want to go with that.
Okay. Okay. My name is Riley Gaines, and I'm a very, very proud Patriot Mobile user. I have been for about 2 years now. Being in the conservative space, I have found myself at several events where Patriot Mobile was also present. And in doing that, I got to know some of the fantastic leadership team at Patriot Mobile. People like Glenn Story, who I'm sure you see on Fox News all the time on commercials.
I do.
Everything in between. And in getting to know him and understanding who he is as a person in the company that has been built around the values that he stands for personally, it was a no-brainer for me to make the switch, which I have done. The pillars that they stand for, that they constantly give back to, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, our veterans, I feel very passionately about. I think especially now, as I am just about to deliver our baby girl at any point now.
I think this might be her trying to get out of doing this. Okay, let's go. That's true. I always bring up all the time that like the only argument you can have notebooks, spreadsheets full of data and information about how Republicans are wrong about everything. They're lying to you. They have no plans. You can have all that. All right. But honestly, if someone looks at this video of this woman, or even more so, looks at Nick Shirley talk and they go, yep, that's my side. That represents me. They're lost. We are not getting these people back. But like, look at this. She just straight up goes like things that really matter to me, that really matter and are really important to me. 5 seconds ago, she was like, what are we talking about here? Okay, so it's the First Amendment. Which, by the way, the First Amendment, all they mean whenever a conservative says, I support the First Amendment, is being allowed to say slurs on Facebook. Not even other social media. They just want to be able to say slurs on Facebook. That's it. And that's what they actually think the First Amendment is. If you press them on it and you're like, okay, why do you support Donald Trump, who openly threatened journalists? Isn't that kind of violating the First Amendment? Those be like, no, they were mean to him. He should do that. They were really mean. It's good that he did that. But don't you care about the First Amendment? I don't know. I'm not allowed to, I'm not. Don't you care about the First Amendment? I don't know. I mean, kind of, but I'm not allowed to, say on Facebook. So like, why should I? It is wild. It is wild. I know you have that. Guess what? Guess what? This is what I always say to conservatives. Guess what? You can say retarded. I say it constantly. And listen, I am shadow banned and oppressed. And some are saying, in fact, the world's most crucified man. I've been told. You can say all of these things, but they're literally but their point isn't even like, because they don't understand like institutional versus anything else. Their thing is literally just like, oh, I shouldn't like be made to feel bad about it. That's what, because it's all feelings. It's all feelings with conservatives. So that's why when they say something like, I support the First Amendment, it's all like, I support feeling good. So if you say, well, Donald Trump is going after journalists. Yes, that makes me feel good that he's doing that. But yeah, they don't feel good. They feel bad all day.
I find these values to be near and dear to my heart and something that I actively want to be supporting. And I am doing that by using Patriot Mobile. I have had the most fantastic experience with the service itself. My husband is a Brit, I would call him an honorary American at this point, although we've been married.
What's up with Candace Owens married a British guy too? What's up with these right-wing grifters, bongers? I'm not into it. That is true. They will get canceled. First off, what does canceled even mean? People will be like, oh, I had a job where I would talk to the public, and now it turns out the public doesn't like me, so I'm canceled. Sorry. I'll put you in touch with the manager of other people's opinions. I'm sorry that you had a job where people had to like you, and now people don't like you. I don't know. We should 100 million% deport him. First off, literally, he's an anchor baby in her pussy. This Brit bonger comes over. I was about to say something about Britain, my ancestral homeland. I was about to say I'm allowed to say it. You guys aren't allowed to say bonger. Okay. That's our word. You guys can't take that word. Recently, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Nexus on my MetaQuest. It's my only video game system. I'm a gamer on the MetaQuest. Ooh, I wonder if I can do a live stream where I play MetaQuest. But one camera angle is me and my stupid ass virtual reality headset is going like climbing up. But anyway, part of that game, you jump from a couple different timelines. And one of them, you're like a Native American assassin guy in Revolutionary War era Britain. And the problem with it is I get in trouble because you're supposed to be sneaky. And I just love killing the British too much. So I'm just going around and the redcoats are like, what's this then? You get your little laid out and you just get him in the back of the head. The game rocks. I have a lot of fun. I got to figure out how to do that thing you do in the Assassin's Creed games where you like put your arms out and you T-pose and you aura farm and just jump down. That rocks. That's good.
3 years. He doesn't yet have a citizen.
Yeah, we need to remove every British person from Earth in Minecraft. Just kidding.
He's more authentically patriotic than most Americans that I know. That being said, we've traveled to England several times. I've done this.
That being said, you realize that she just said her husband's British. She goes, oh, I forgot that, like, what she thought in her head, which is wrong. It's not true. But she was like, oh, I think they're going to be mad because I have a foreigner husband. And it's like, he's white. It's fine. Don't worry. For example, everyone watching this, well, let's look at two different Super Bowls. All right. One was performed by The Who, a band from Britain, not American. None of them are American citizens. Or we have a Super Bowl performed by Bad Bunny, who is an American citizen. Which one did they have more of a problem with?
With my Patriot Mobile service, and I have had the best experience where other people in my family who don't use Patriot Mobile, they've had problems. I have not. It's a testament to, again, the quality of experience and service that you're getting, but also, again, the values that they stand for. So I will continue supporting Patriot Mobile, and I encourage you to do so as well.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Just kind of spoke for a minute.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of or need?
I'm trying to think of like what's happening right now. You know.
I know.
Is there anything happening in the girls' sports?
Always. I mean, you continue to have.
I think maybe like.
I think she might have been about to say they continue to have men and women's sports, but then she has to be like, well, no, but Donald Trump stopped that. By the way, Patriot mobile phones are made in China. I'm sure they're just drop shipped phones. From what I looked into it, I don't even know if they sell phones. They might just sell like service plans, which, by the way, it's just a middleman. They openly will admit that they lease the phone service from like AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile. They're just charging you more. So they're just acting as a middleman to take money. It's probably a Chinese company. And you know what? You deserve it. Listen, China, if your whole business plan is to sell the same phone service at a markup to old people using their social security check to have a phone that only shows girl dick when they Google it, which is every 1.5 minutes, great. You're winning. President Xi, my people desire freedom. Yes, it is a complete scam company. Yes, this is what we deserve.
It's maybe like some sort of a soundbite where it's like it's rare to have a for-profit company that's standing beside women and girls.
Totally.
I think like that is so. I mean, most of the woke, cancel culture is what's happening. And so
Totally.
Yeah, totally. By the way, she told her like, make sure to mention it's a for-profit company. Where it's like to these people, unless the company is for profit, they're like commie bullshit. Which is, I don't know, by the way, if I trust the non-profit phone service company to be terribly reliable. Maybe I am a capitalist at heart. I don't know.
Maybe something that's like, I love, not necessarily you supporting, but like this movement
Is supporting.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we want to say here. Do you guys, if you're going to talk about, I mean, you hate to even call them political issues, but do you specifically say like the left or the right, or is that something you try to kind of refrain from?
We will say it from like a microphone in front of people in our marketing.
Like if I were to say something to the effect of like the left is still doubling down.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say that.
Or is there a different way you could phrase that where it's,
we continue to see more woke companies.
okay, yeah.
More woke companies. We're tired of these woke companies like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. So that's why we're paying them to use their services for you. Patriot Mobile. We're the only service. But like these boomers who get Patriot Mobile, I guess to some degree you feel good that your money is going towards, I don't know, bombing abortion clinics or whatever. But it's not like your phone has like AI images of Riley Gaines' pussy on it or something. Like, why? What do you get out of this? What do you people get out of this? That is the question we all want to ask the MAGA supporters, who are, more than I'd care for in America, but like maybe, in terms of real psycho MAGA in America, it's like maybe like 15, 20%. And then there's another healthy chunk that will just vote Republican, whatever. They don't give a shit. And then there's a healthy chunk of Americans who don't care about politics, don't give a shit, and literally don't know who's running for president. There's a lot of Americans that don't even know, what they get. What do they get? What do they get? Are they even like, we're from the phone specific? Like, you can vote for Donald Trump and like, I guess he made some brown people's lives worse, but he's not even like doing that. You don't even get, for a while, I'm sure they were jacking off real good, seeing all the ICE raids and like that. But now you don't even see that on TV. Now it's just like us giving Iran 200 billion quadrillion dollars. Did you see, by the way, today, which is hilarious, Wikipedia officially listed the war with Iran as being over and having been won by Iran, which I think is pretty undeniable. Like, they won. And, you know, I don't like Iran very much altogether, but I definitely supported them in this war, and I am glad that they won. I am glad the great Satan has been at least temporarily defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah, the left is doubling down on their ideologies.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, they're like, the left is doubling down on their ideology. I don't know, motherfucker. I just have a phone. I don't have a phone that I need to, every time I open it, it reminds me that people deserve health care or whatever. You know? My phone doesn't like volunteer, doesn't like have links that pop up to tell me to donate to like Free Palestine or something. People in Minnesota did get arrested. One guy even got shot. So cool. Okay, that's a good point. You did really own the libs by killing two of them. One of which I think wasn't even a lib. It was literally just a woman going to pick up her kid. So, you know, congrats. You won. You'll all vote Republican again. I want to say vote for Trump again. I'm still not entirely convinced he's not running again in 2028. But, you know, all the behind the scenes stuff is he's asking people like, should I support Marco Rubio or should I support JD Vance? It's going to be tough for him to have someone else take the spotlight, but also it doesn't matter. We've seen over and over again that Trump endorsements don't mean anything. His voter base are literally too stupid to know what an endorsement is. Probably a lot of people are just going to vote for Donald Trump. Even if he's dead, they're just going to write him in.
I'll just say...
Oh, more people in Minnesota got arrested? I didn't see that. No.
Okay, I think I'm good. Even in the year 2025, we have continued to see woke companies and woke politicians double down on the idea that men can become women, that men belong in women's sports, and that men belong in girls' bathrooms. Praise God, we have a leader like Donald Trump back in the Oval Office. One more time.
Man, God, she needs to send Leah Thomas a card every day to thank her for giving her a career. If she hadn't tied for 5th place, you think she would be on camera? No. She would be assistant managing a Applebee's right now. No, I'll tell you what Riley Gaines would be 100%. If Riley Gaines hadn't successfully pulled off this thing, she would be the HR lady who schedules a Zoom call to fire you. That's what she would be doing right now.
Yeah.
Even in the year 2025, we continue to have woke companies and woke politicians double down on the insane idea that men can become women, that men belong in women's sports, that men can go into women's bathrooms. Praise God that Donald Trump is back in the White House, and praise God for companies like Patriot Mobile.
Yes. So when is the last time you heard a Democratic politician mention, quite frankly, trans people at all, let alone trans people in sports? The last one I can recall is about a year ago, and it was Gavin Newsom agreeing with Charlie Kirk that it shouldn't happen. It's not, this is completely invented. And when you see these polls where most Americans are like, I don't know, I think the Democratic Party needs to go to the middle, man. They've gone too far to the left. It's because they're like this. It's because the Republicans so thoroughly control the media environment that they sincerely believe that like the average Democrat politician is really trying to make it so trans people can play in like pee-wee hockey, which, by the way, I don't give a about that. All right. An argument can be made about college, definitely, high school, whatever. An argument can be made. I don't really give a you can make an argument. But like when they're like 6, who gives a let them do whatever the they want.
Who stand alongside women and who stand alongside speaking the truth. Let me read it out one more time. That sounded weird. Okay.
Just as a reminder, Donald Trump stands beside women and then looks at the children next to them and them. Stands next to a woman and goes, disgusting. Let me see you 7-year-old.
What did I say? Even in the year 2025, we continue to have woke companies and woke politicians double down on the insane idea that men can become women and vice versa, and that men belong in women's sports, and that boys and men should enter into girls' and women's bathrooms and locker rooms. Thank God that Donald Trump is back in the White House and has made it a priority to say enough of this nonsense. And thank God for companies like Patriot Mobile, who, number one, know what a woman is. Foundational, right? They believe in the biblical definition of both male and female, that God created us uniquely and intentionally in his.
Yes, I like that part in the Bible where I think it was Methuselah who says, and God saith the XY chromosome is the man. I forget which is which. What do you mean the biblical definition of gender? You first off, according to the biblical definition of gender, you should shut the up. All right? Put on a full burqa and go churn some butter, you dumb. You want to follow the Bible.
His perfect image, and how amazing is it that we have a creator who doesn't make mistakes? And again, how amazing is it that we have a for-profit company like Patriot.
So by the way, again, they have to stress for-profit, else it's communism. We have a creator who doesn't make mistakes. So to clarify, all of the children born with cerebral palsy, that was on purpose. You see a child born, you know, one of those Indian babies that's born with like 7 dicks in its eyeball and its heart is leaking out of its asshole. God goes, boom, perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Killed it on that one.
Patriot Mobile, who is willing to stand with women across the nation. Very, very proud Patriot Mobile user here, and I encourage you guys to be as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
So this went viral, and Riley Gaines, pretend like you're not seeing any of my other emails or my email address and you don't know what it is. She responded to this going viral. Is that from Forrest Gump? What, a retarded person? Yes, that was invented by the film Forrest Gump. Riley Gaines, who is wearing a Super Bowl shirt, she's on a farm with a bunch of horses, and this is what she does with her free time. She wears oversized shirts and, quite frankly, looks like honey, get it together. Okay? God don't make no mistakes. Did he say that? Okay. Seems like the kind of thing Forrest Gump would say. Again, a retarded character. It's important to note, every time someone quotes Forrest Gump, he was retarded.
Generally don't get on my phone.
Some are calling it Nick Shirley-esque. Some are calling it the Nick Shirley prequel, Forrest Gump.
On the weekends. I had no idea that I was involved in this internet online X controversy that does not exist anywhere outside of X, by the way.
To be fair, I mean, X is being a little too specific, but yeah, it's a way too online controversy. But this is something that right-wingers will do sometimes, where they'll call something like call somebody way too online. And it's like, that might be true, but we might also have the most stark case of pot kettle black in history. All right. You're only famous because of weird psychos on the internet. So, you know, the hand that feeds don't puke on it. That's how that saying goes, I think.
Surrounding Patriot Mobile. So I figured I would just make a video, clear some things up. Number one, Patriot Mobile has never, ever, ever paid me for anything. Not a service, not a campaign, not a commercial, not an ad, an endorsement, a product, nothing. I've never, ever been paid by Patriot Mobile. Check the filings, check like my bank account. I don't know. They've never paid me. So the whole
So I'd imagine this is probably a lie in as much as it's like they paid a corporation that paid her or something would be my guess. It's like kind of a workaround. But if that actually was true, that's worse. Why are you doing pro bono work for goddamn Patriot Mobile?
Bought and paid for thing would maybe be applicable if I had been paid, which I haven't. But even still, no, it wouldn't be, because I really am a proud Patriot Mobile user. Clearly, I live in the country. I love their service. I've never had a problem with it, whereas that has not been the case with other phone lines. I like the causes they support. They are pro-life, pro-veteran, pro-military, pro-freedom. Just to provide some...
I just have a feeling, based on the general business model of Patriot Mobile, I'm wondering how much they actually donate to these other causes. Let's look up a little more information about good old Patriot Mobile. Okay. Where are we at viewer-wise, by the way? All right, we got 6. Not bad. All right, so Patriot Mobile. First off, how much does Patriot Mobile cost? Let's see here. We can get... So starting at $35 a month for full price, $839. Unplugged UP. Okay, so you do get the phone. You can buy a phone, an iPhone 17e. So they're just selling these things to you at a markup, I'm sure. Unplugged, built for freedom, designed for you. By the way, this UP privacy smartphone, perhaps the most bugged phone of all time. All of these phones, I'm sure, President Xi in China's personally looking at things. All right, so let's see what we get here. No device selected. I want to get the UP privacy. I'm going to add to cart. Choose a plan. All right, for 12 gigs, which is not that. First off, you don't get like limited. Kind of bullshit. So $75 a month, 256 gig, an eSIM or a physical SIM. I don't know what this stupid phone is. All right, add to cart. So due today is $869 and $75 a month. Yeah, I mean that's not great. It's not a cheap phone number right there. Let's see what else we got here for Patriot Mobile. Let's see if they actually donate to things. I was looking at their Wikipedia earlier, and they did list some stuff. Yes, it's an American mobile virtual network operator based in Grapevine, Texas. And they say Grapevine, Texas. I absolutely refuse to believe that this is not Chinese. Okay, I just will not believe it. And is that my racism? Maybe. And all I have to say is miso sawi. The company uses AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon to deliver wireless services on 4G and 5G networks. So yeah, it just uses the same companies. Patriot Mobile has described itself as America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Well, it's a market I'm breaking into. All right. Here's the deal. I'm starting my own. It's called Patrioter Mobile. We're more of a patriot. Those other guys, one time I saw them watching a French movie. That's a bad example. They wouldn't do that. One time, this is true. I saw them eating Swedish pancakes. They kept saying, no, it's a blintz. It's a blintz. And I said, nope, it's the whole thing. Aaron Brown did a whole video on this years and years ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, they might not actually be Texas. They might actually kind of believe this looking at this, which is wild. But yes, my service, Patrioter Mobile, and you give me $74 a month, and I will let you look at memes on my phone. Yeah. You get to look at memes on my phone for 1 hour. I'm going to put it into airplane mode. They won't know how to take it off. They won't be able to access anything, and I'll just have the memes preloaded. I'll just find some great racist Tweety Bird memes. Racist Tweety Bird. Arcus Tweety Bird. All right, what do we got here? Images. I don't mean crust. I meant racist Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird memes. All right. So what do we got? Yeah, that's pretty racist. That's not great. Okay. All the cops, I'll have sex with them. Yeah. Oh, yes. Something, by the way, is getting saved, getting turned into my background. All right. We're putting this into pictures. What if this is, oh, you guys can't see I was saving it into different folders. I was like, I'm about to have a vouch moment where you guys see my short stack thick. Just kidding. All right. I'm turning this into the background. of my computer because that's fun. Where is this here? Oh, to go to wallpaper. Choose your desktop background. Okay. You guys won't be able to see this, but it's really important for me. Browse photos. I got some great photos here. I got some really great photos here. Bluey. And so I'm going to go fill. I'm going to go tile. So we just see a whole bunch of it. Yeah, dude. What if it's center? Span? No. I got to go stretch. Yeah, stretch is the best because then it's all distorted. Yes, 100%. Can I see it now? Yeah, that's great. I saw one of those in Phoenix. One of what in Phoenix? Anyway, as I was saying, yes, Patriot Mobile seems real. The company has compared to Credo Mobile, an MVNO with a similar business model that donates to progressive political causes. So it seems like this guy, Glenn Story, might actually buy this bullshit, offering cellular service to individuals who prioritize constitutional freedoms. What do we got here? So yeah, it provides coverage through that. Here's, oh my God, look at this. Glenn Story. I think that's Glenn Story. That does look like the kind of guy who would be the CEO of Patriot Mobile. Look at this asshole right here. I don't know who this woman is, but honestly, your head's too small. All right. Give me a bigger head if you want to compete with the big girls, okay? This is Jason Aldean. There was a horrible tragedy that occurred at one of his concerts in Vegas where literally hundreds of his fans were left alive. It was really, I don't know if we're ever going to get over the amount of domestic abuse that occurred from Stephen Paddock running out of bullets. I like saying naughty things. I don't know who this woman is too, but she's old and I don't want to, so I don't care. But tease. Oh, I got out of there. But yeah, what was it saying about Patriot Mobile? Patriot Mobile causes, like who they actually donate to. Political donations. All right. In 2022, Patriot Mobile created Patriot Mobile Action, a political action committee, initially funded with about $6,500 in cash and in-kind contributions. The purpose of this PAC was to support candidates in school board races. I don't know. I always just stand up against the leftist indoctrination. Whenever they claim to like they're donating to political action committees and like that, I always think that to some degree, maybe entirely, it's just like you start a political action committee and let's say it was funded with $650,000 in cash. Well, this guy, Glenn Story, maybe his salary for being CEO was, I don't know, $649,000. That there's a lot of ways to do this stuff. Yeah, in 2022, all 11 school board candidates endorsed and financially backed by Patriot Mobile won their races. Yeah, but it was all like in Fort Worth, Texas. It's kind of like when the lefties and the tankies and go crazy about Zoran Mamdani. I'm like, I like Zoran Mamdani, don't get me wrong, but he won in New York City, okay? Don't start sucking your dick about how the world's bending to your will because, a pretty far left guy won in New York City, all right? The 4 pillars of giving, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and then military veterans and first responders. That's kind of 5 pillars. I mean, I guess they're lumping military veterans and first responders together, but I don't know. Anyway, she is still doing an ad, and it is very funny. She's gonna be shilling, all right? It's in her blood.
Some context to the raw footage that was released, which I will say it was a total blunder on Patriot Mobile's end of having that footage where it could be accessed by the public.
Major respect to doing an ad and throwing the company under the bus at the same time. Major respect.
I guess you got me. It's not natural for me to like sit in front of a camera and film myself talking with no teleprompter, with no script.
Now, to clarify, that is your job. That is what you do. You probably make more money than me. It's a pretty easy job, by the way. All right? I'm sure we all have a lot of sympathy for you. You have to sit in front of a camera and riff out some bullshit. Okay? I actually just checked, and all the 7-year-old Bangladeshi kids working at the Union Carbide factory are, doing a bake sale to raise money for you.
It really was a personal and heartfelt endorsement. But when I was asking, like, is it okay if I use this language and this, if I say this, that mostly came from working with several 501c3s and 501c4s over the past few years, understanding that you have to be very specific about the language. I understand that Patriot is a for-profit, so maybe I didn't necessarily have to be concerned about those things. I wanted to make sure that I was saying everything in a manner that would not get the brand in trouble.
Okay, well, if you were that concerned, my advice was maybe, and this is a crazy one, write some down. Have a script. It's not how it normally goes, okay? Flo from Progressive doesn't show up to the set of those commercials and go, all right, guys, so what does this company do again? Flo, you've been doing this for 20 years. Don't be such a fascist. I refuse. I will be a fascist for the rest of my life. They have such cool outfits. Yeah, that's not... Remember that the phone company guy who go, can you hear me now? Yeah, he had that line. They wrote that for him. He knew it.
Legally or financially, I don't know. That's just my very young, naive, not business-minded brain. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's pretty standard to do. Again, when you have a camera in front of you, it takes multiple takes to do. I don't know. I'm going to keep doing my thing, go back, hang out with my family, enjoy my weekend here in Tennessee. I encourage you guys to, like, touch grass, get a hobby, keep, like, arguing online. I don't know. Maybe go get a Patriot Mobile line. They didn't even have to pay me to say it. Y'all are weird.
Listen, just let the record state she is not mad. All right? Do not put in the newspaper that she got mad.